I'm Ryan from redefinedmag.com and totallycrush.mag.com, and I'm here with...
Oh, I'm Soupy. Hi.
And I'm Casey.
And you guys are from the band...
What band are we in?
Wonder Years.
Oh,
I thought you would say that. I kind of felt like it was going to be a thing.
No.
We were supposed to say it.
Well, we're in the Wonder Years, anyway.
No preparation.
Yeah, so since you guys are the Wonder Years, who is the Kevin Arnold of your lovely troupe?
I'm just going to say Nick because I think it's funny.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no. At this point, it would be Nick.
Who would be the Winnie?
Also Nick.
You'd be the everybody.
Try to get Nick as my...
Nick's our go-to guy when it comes to anything Wonder Years related.
Gotta go Nick.
Yeah. So, you guys have the Upsides, your second record, which is burning for a while. That came out in January?
26th of January.
And the one thing I noticed about the record is that it's a little bit on the serious side compared to the first record.
Yeah.
What would you attribute that to? And I realize that for people who are familiar with your band, there's sort of an explanation in the insert.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it was just the transition happened for the Upsides. I think it happened more so right after it gets notes on it on the first 7-inch, which was when we were Pathetic Forever. I feel like the lyrics kind of shifted then. I would attribute to the fact that the first record's borderline embarrassment. I would say borderline embarrassed by it.
Yeah, I mean that was definitely a much more lighthearted take on our band.
We weren't really
at
a
that point, but
band yet.
Yeah, so I think like the way I've kind of always looked at it, and we get asked the same kind of question a lot. Obviously, it is a very drastic change when you put both full lengths next to each other, especially lyrically. But we did that first full length, and up until that point, it was really almost more of like a hobby thing. Like we weren't thinking about getting out on the road full time or anything like that. We were all in school, and but then we put that record out, and then after that we did our first full U.S. tour, and then that kind of lent itself to some experiences and just us generally getting kind of what you just saw, like just general interactions between us and other people, and noticing things about either our hometown or other towns that we were in. So in a way, that record actually set the stage for the progression that has now come to fruition with the Upsides, I think. So yeah, that record was before we had done any touring or done any kind of serious band activities. But then we did the two 7-inches that we put out, the Split, Pathetic. Those were kind of transitional things that happened because of the touring that we started doing after we put out the first record. So I think in a way, the Upsides probably wouldn't have existed without that, because we probably wouldn't have put that first record out.
So you have this record that, by and large is a very like poppy record, but lyrically it comes from a place where I feel like a lot of people, in their early to mid 20s kind of see themselves out once they kind of hit that post-collegiate milestone of like, well, what the fuck am I going to do with my life?
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
we all hit it, and then
among my favorite milestones.
Yeah. But was that? I mean, was there ever a point? And I don't know how the lyric writing duties are split between you guys, but was there ever a point when you're, writing this record and you're like, fuck, I feel like this is going to be like this really naked record, where it just seems like you did really put everything out there and just said, well, screw it, I guess we'll just tell the story, and whatever people think about it.
Yeah, why not? It was I think full disclosure was really important with this record. With anything we're going to do, henceforth, there's no real sense in hiding anything. Yeah, if we're going to get up on stage and sing some songs, it better be songs that mean something. And if we're going to lie about everything lyrically or try to sugarcoat it or cover it in some sort of, heavy metaphor, then it's not going to be real. So I just get up there and, get behind the mic or get in the studio and we sing songs about exactly what's happening.
Yeah. And I think that was a lot of while we were writing that record, we were pretty much in the midst of what that milestone you just spoke of, either approaching that or just there after that once we recorded it. So, that's why it came out that way, because we were smack in the middle of it, and that was pretty much the biggest thing on our mind at that point.
So I think when we were writing that record, we were living that life, and that's how the record came out. And hopefully when we write a new record, it will be about, not hopefully, it will be about the life that we're living then, and I hope that hits home with everybody as well.
process of writing it, you know, and again, we just talked about how, you know, truthful the record is. Did you ever think that there might be a misstep if people were to criticize the record in a negative way of saying, well, you know, what do you have to complain about? You know, you guys are, you know, white kids from the East Coast.
That's
like,
the point. What do we have to complain about?
Yeah.
Goddamn
I mean,
nothing.
yeah, that's then. And then I think if
I have a
they
great
do
life.
take
I
that
love my
angle,
life.
they've kind of
missed
missed the whole point of it.
There's a whole thing, like the one song on there is called It's Never Sunny in South Philadelphia. And originally when we were writing the record, I didn't have the whole concept built yet. It was just, there was no framework. It was just, we were pouring lyric ideas into a book that I had bought for like $2.99. And I had like pages labeled of like social anxiety, boom, everything that related to that, I would drop it in there. Things I heard, things I thought about. And one was just like things that make my day awful every day. And it was like, just, you know, when riding my bike and it's raining and I'm drenched and it's cold and I gotta change and I go to my house and I lost my keys somewhere and I can't find them and et cetera, et cetera. Just one of those days. And I was filling that page with the things that were one of those days, and then when it came time to write the song, I looked at all the problems that I had written down, and they weren't problems. I was like, these aren't problems. If these are the problems in my life, then I have the greatest life of all time.
Yeah.
How can I possibly consider these problems? And so that whole song is kind of about the idea that like you get angry and frustrated, and like, yeah, it sucks your air conditioning doesn't work or the heat doesn't work, and like it sucks that like all these things are going wrong with my house or all these things are going wrong with my day, but like in reality, all I have to do is, you know, the only choice I have is to pull myself up and actually live, and not spend so much time concentrating on those things.
Yeah. You guys signed to Hopeless recently.
That's true.
How did that come about? Because I thought that was a little bit surprising, just because the record hasn't been out for that long, and on No Sleep, and you guys seem to have like a really good relationship with them in terms of, you know, the way that you know, the kind of bands that you've toured with, and how, you know, it seems like it's been like sort of a good flow and growth for your band right now.
I love No Sleep.
Yeah,
Talking about how much I love No Sleep, is that what the question is kind of directed at?
No, more of like how the Hopeless thing came up.
Well, Hopeless thing came up because our contract with No Sleep was up. We had done and fulfilled all of our requirements, and Hopeless was interested in us. We liked them. We got along. And so we signed with them. And they actually purchased the upsides from No Sleep and are re-releasing it with some bonus material in September.
So what are some of the bonus stuff that you guys are doing on the new disc, or the new version?
Well, there's 4 tracks. 2 of them are brand new, and then 2 of them are not brand new, but new nonetheless. And then there's new artwork, and there's gonna be a lot of cool pre-order packages and some things that I haven't seen another band do ever. So, I mean, I'm not saying no band's ever done it. I'm saying that I haven't personally witnessed it. But yeah, I'm not gonna. Excuse me, I'm gonna cough.
A band member is included with each disc.
One band member with each
Date with a band member of your choice.
I think Michelle had like a date with the dude who modeled on the cover. Yeah,
Bobby's gorgeous.
Yes.
Bobby Morris does merch for this time next year.
Oh
so
my god, yeah, we have the same last name. We could be related. Oh,
Good.
sorry.
And that would be kind of
He's
weird,
so
though.
good looking. It might be
This
worth
true
it.
is. And he's a nice
Bobby
guy.
is the best. Do you know Bobby?
I met him on the This Time Next Year tour, and I was just like, oh, you're the dude from the cover, and I totally kind of made fun of you, and he's like, that's okay, and he gave me a hug.
He's like the sweetest person. The last day we did of the Kim Owens Pepsi tour with This Time Next Year, Bobby came up and he gave me a hug and just went really quiet in my ear and just went, "You're my friend," and then let me go.
What's funny about that is all I can think, like when I first met Bobby, because we like had obviously finished the artwork and finished the record before, or at least myself. I don't think any of us had actually met Bobby.
No one met Bobby yet. 'Cause
So
we had another model.
And that's exactly where I was going. Is once I met Bobby and couldn't have been happier that he ended up on the cover. I just thought back to the other guy that we had, our photographer, doing test shots with, that looked like very weird, like almost like kind of Jesus-y, like
Definitely a little
hippie
Jesus-y.
kind
I
of-
liked him. The thing with
kinda
Bobby is that
guy.
like Bobby kind of like
But Bobby just
personifies the record. Like,
Yeah, that's what's great
dude
about
loves
it.
PMA.
Yeah, like
He looks like Jason Segel.
he looks like he's startlingly handsome as people say.
Yes.
He
yes.
looks like he's found the upsides,
He
and he
has.
has.
He had that smirk,
that one
you know,
hurt.
on the
That
record.
was awful.
That
I
one
had to
hurt.
get one bad.
Yeah. Oh jeez.
Yeah.
You can't not do puns. That's just a rule of life. But oh man,
It's like George in that Seinfeld episode. It's like one good line and you're
So
out.
many mohawks tonight. It's not a
Yeah.
mohawk.
I know. Those
Sort of
guys were
punks
being
tonight.
dicks.
Well,
What guys? Oh, it's.
Those were the two gentlemen that will be heckling us tonight.
I want to go back to the Hopeless thing real quick. I know that
Okay.
Subsidy has a lot of their bands kind of pick a charity, and I don't know, is that something similar with Hopeless, where some of your sales go to help out like a community group or?
Not through Hopeless, through Subsidy though. We're actually just having this conversation
Yeah,
backstage,
yeah.
like literally
It's funny
5
you
minutes
mention
ago, about what charity we want to work with in the near future. There is going to be something from us with Subsidy coming out soon, or happening soon, something big, but we're working on which charity we want to work with right now.
Yeah. Well, you guys are from Philly, and lately there's been a shitstorm with the all ages scene out there. Like, what's kind of your thought on how city government is sort of handling that?
There hasn't actually been said shitstorm yet. It's like the impending
just-
shitstorm.
Yeah.
It's like we saw the forecast
Yeah.
of the shitstorm. For anyone unaware, what Philadelphia is trying to do is impose a bill that any event that you want to have, anything you want to throw, which would include shows, kind of blankets over that, you have to apply for a permit from the police 30 days prior to the event. So that would kill any sort of a DIY scene, because it would have to, in order for the police to approve your permit, it has to be a legitimate venue, it has to have security, etc., etc. There are going to need to be insurance policies involved, which obviously, you know, if I'm throwing a show for my friends that are coming through on tour last minute, I'm not going to buy an insurance
Just
policy.
a lot of guidelines that are very.
And it kind of kills that last
DIY
minute,
shows.
like, oh, we got a show cancel on us in Jersey, let's do a Philly basement show. I'm not sweating it too much, because I think that every show I've ever attended in the city of Philadelphia hasn't actually been legal.
I mean, it's
You can't
definitely-
cram 200 people into a basement. You just can't legally do that, but we do all the time. So I'm not super worried about it. The bill is directed at. The reason they're having to do this is because there's so many like nightclub events and like parties and dances and you know, things like that get thrown where people get shot.
Shot.
R5 Productions.
We get shot at R5 Productions.
Oh no, we're talking
What you know about R5?
I post on a board with Sean
Yeah.
and a bunch of Philly people. So
What board is it? Centerpiece?
BCO, board.crucial.org.
I don't think anyone's ever been shot. I mean, people.
No, I've heard R5 stuff just getting shut down like all
Oh,
the
well,
time,
because
and like Andrew WK stealing a chandelier from a venue when he was.
Andrew WK.
He is.
So
I'm
really not
Here's the
too
thing.
concerned.
While I'm saying that, like, I'm not super concerned about it because it's not aimed at us, I am concerned enough to say that if you see the petition, please sign it, because if it does pass and they do decide to take it very seriously, it's going to kill any sort of a DIY scene in Philadelphia. There won't be any more last-minute house shows. There won't be any more. I mean, that's pretty much going to kill hardcore in general.
Yeah.
No one wants to ensure that. You know?
I think at the end of the day, it'll still come down to a matter of enforcement. It just makes it a lot easier for police to approach either a house show or whatever, and they can just shut it down instantly rather than saying, all right, quiet down.
Yeah.
You know, like
But
if they want.
I lived in Philadelphia for a couple of years, and I can safely say that they have bigger things to deal with than us throwing a punk rock
Murders, rapes.
show. Serious shit.
Yeah.
So you would hope they would still be more concerned with that and enforcing those laws.
But I guess we'll see. And I hope it doesn't work out the way that some people think it's going to work out. I'm trying to stay positive about it.
Let's not end this on a bad note.
No,
Let's
we
end this
can
on a
do
good
something else.
note. Like with
What do you want to talk about?
let's talk about you know, Free Slurpee Day is coming up. Are you guys gonna hit every 7-Eleven possible?
When is Free Slurpee Day?
7-Eleven.
When? No, when?
7-Eleven.
7-Eleven.
Wow.
11.
So I thought that. Hand you over. Fuck you guys.